What is the legend of King Arthur? The legend of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table makes us think of an age of heroism and romance. For 1,000 years, stories about them have been passed down from generation to generation across Europe and the rest of the world. We even encounter them today in books, on television, and in the movies. In all these stories, King Arthur and his knights fight bravely for justice and truth. Of course, they always win. The legendary King Arthur was known as the greatest king that ever lived. His magnificent castle was called Camelot, and his wife, Guinevere, was the most beautiful woman in history. Arthur had the greatest knights at his court. They were all equal and sat at a round table to show that no one had a higher rank than the other. The most famous knights were Sir Gawain and Sir Lancelot. The knights did many good deeds and went on adventures. They saved young women in trouble and searched for a precious cup called the Holy Grail. They were all heroes, although they had faults, like all people do. In the legend, Arthur is the perfect king. He has a wizard by the name of Merlin who helps him defeat his enemies. He also has flashing swords and wears a fine suit of shining armor. Arthur has 2 magic swords. At the beginning of his reign, he pulls one from a block of stone, proving that he is the true king. The other sword appears in the middle of the lake and has powers that make Arthur immortal. At the end of his reign, Arthur returns to the lake and disappears into the mist. Are these stories true? Did King Arthur really exist? Was his wife, Guinevere, real? Did Camelot exist? How true to fact are some of these stories? Historians don't know. For the last few hundred years, people thought that the legend about Arthur had been invented. However, historians have realized recently that Arthur really may have existed. Most historians believe that he probably did. They think that he was a king or a great leader somewhere in Great Britain. Most believe that Arthur lived around the end of the 5th and the beginning of the 6th century. They also believe that he led an army against the Saxons, who invaded Britain a very long time ago, that he won his great battle, and that he was the character who inspired hundreds of stories.